A very good evening to all of you and a warm welcome from Next IAS side. So we will begin discussion on economy. We will not be taking a lot of time. The idea is just to give you a basic input on how these answers should have been done. ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं लूंगा मैं, आपको बेसिक इनपुट देता जाऊंगा कि कैसे ये आंसर्स आपको करने चाहिए थे. तो पहला सवाल था इकोनॉमी से, रैपिड फाइनेंसिंग इंस्ट्रूमेंट एंड रैपिड क्रेडिट फैसिलिटी आर रिलेटेड टू द प्रोविजंस ऑफ लेंडिंग बाय विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग. द आंसर विल बी इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड. इसका आंसर इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड होगा. 2016 से ये शुरू हुआ और अभी न्यूज में था बिकॉज ऑफ श्रीलंका's फाइनेंसिंग दैट IMF वाज नेगोशिएटिंग ऑन. तो इसीलिए रैपिड इन्वेस्टमेंट फंड and the rapid financing instrument, rapid credit facility and rapid financing instrument was based on that. So it was in news because of that we came along. The second question that you see, is with reference to the Indian economy, consider the following statement. अब ये question में पता है क्या है? In this question, they are not telling us whether they are taking nominal effective exchange rate as rupee by dollar or dollar by rupee. So this question becomes a little tricky in that case. Now, if we go by the normal convention, then it has to be rupee by dollar. But in many cases, including RBI website, it is dollar by rupee. तो मैं आपको concept से ये समझा देता हूँ कि इसका आंसर आपको क्या लिखना चाहिए. और अगर हम ये माने कि RBI जो है वो डॉलर बाय रूपी की तरह मानते हैं, अगर या रूपी बाय डॉलर की तरह मानते हैं तो कैसे जाएगा. तो आप देखो, एन इंक्रीज इन नॉमिनल इफेक्टिव एक्सचेंज रेट इंडिकेट्स अप्रिसिएशन ऑफ रूपी. आप समझना ये बात, अगर नॉमिनल इफेक्टिव एक्सचेंज रेट रूपी बाय डॉलर के टर्म्स में होता, लाइक रूपी बाय फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रेट, तो उस केस में एन इंक्रीज विल मीन डेप्रिसिएशन ऑफ रूपी, डेप्रिसिएशन ऑफ रूपी. और अगर आप नॉमिनल इफेक्टिव एक्सचेंज रेट को मानते हो as dollar by rupee, if you take nominal effective exchange rate as dollar by rupee, which as I said RBI website also takes, then in that case an increase will mean appreciation of rupee. तो ये एक trick part है. Again, UPSC asks these kind of questions at times where they don't clarify exactly how it will be. So if you come by this again, so if we look into the question, it says that an increase in nominal effective exchange rate indicates appreciation of rupee. तो ये मैं RBI के वेबसाइट को फॉलो कर रहा हूं. If we take it as dollar by rupee, then it will be a correct statement that it will result in appreciation of rupee. An increase in the real effective exchange rate indicates an improvement in trade competitiveness. By same logic, this will not be true because if real effective exchange rate is rising, it means my domestic bundles are becoming costlier. मेरे जो डोमेस्टिक बंडल है वो कॉस्टली हो रहे हैं, और अगर मेरे डोमेस्टिक बंडल कॉस्टली हो रहे हैं तो मैं ऑब्वियसली मेरे एक्सपोर्ट्स पिकअप नहीं करेंगे और इन टर्म्स मेरी ट्रेड कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस नहीं बढ़ेगी. An increasing trend in domestic inflation relative to inflation in other countries is likely to cause an increasing divergence between near and rear. Remember, जो real effective exchange rate है वो है nominal exchange rate upon into price in domestic territory upon price in foreign, assuming the nominal effective exchange rate as dollar by rupee. तो अगर nominal effective exchange rate को dollar by rupee मानता हूं तो PT by PF ये होगा real exchange rate के केस में. तो सोचो, if this divergence increases, if my inflation goes on becoming higher and higher, then the divergence between nominal exchange rate and real exchange rate will become higher and higher. So that is why again the answer will be correct here. So your answer will be C, where 1 and 3 are correct. Question number 2, your answer will be C, where 1 and 3 are correct. So that's another factor that we can keep in mind then. The next question that I'm discussing with you is which of the following activities constitute real sector in the economy? Now, this was again a good question. This was a question where they were testing your concept that which activities contain real sector in the economy. So, in this question now, they are asking us that when it is the nominal exchange rate, the real activities, farmers harvesting their crops, this is again something which is a real activity. Real मतलब जो output को affect करे, जो आपके प्रोडक्शन को अफेक्ट करे. नॉमिनल मतलब जो मनी या फाइनेंस से रिलेटेड हो. नॉमिनल विल बी रिलेटेड टू मनी और फाइनेंस, रियल विल बी रिलेटेड टू आउटपुट. So farmers harvesting their crops is real activity. Textile mills converting raw cotton into fabrics is real activity. Both of these are real activity. Commercial bank lending money to a trading company is a financial or a nominal activity, and corporate body issuing rupee denominated bonds overseas is again a financial or a nominal activity. So your answer will be A. 1 and 2 statement are correct. Your answer will be A. 1 and 2 statement are correct. It was a good question testing your basic idea on whether you understand the notions of nominal or real or not. All right. Then the next question they asked us, which one of the following situations best reflects indirect transfers often talked about in media recently? Now, ये question pick किया था उन्होंने retrospective tax reforms से. That government recently retrospectively taxed the reform, and in that case they said an Indian company investing in a foreign enterprise, not correct. It is related to a foreign company transferring shares where they are gaining in India, but they are deliberately transferring it in order to not pay the taxes in India. So your answer is D. This was the controversy in the Vodafone case, that the foreign currency company transfers shares and such shares derive their entire value from the assets located in India. So that was the point that we should take care of, that this is not the D part is correct. इसलिए क्योंकि ये वोडाफोन केस से रिलेटेड था और अभी सरकार ने रिट्रोस्पेक्टिव टैक्सेशन का अमेंडमेंट किया. सो द लॉजिक ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन वाज दैट. सो योर आंसर विल बी डी हियर ऑन. देन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट आई डिस्कस विथ यू इज 9th. With reference to expenditure made by an organization or a company, reference to expenditure made by an organization or a company, which of the following statements are correct? Acquiring new technology is capital expenditure. Absolutely right, because technology, buying a building, buying a new kind of machine, all these count as capital expenditure. Remember, this is asked with the view of organization or a company. तो सरकारी बजट की बात नहीं सोचनी थी यहाँ. You didn't have to think about government budget. This was asked with respect to an organization or a company. So then that was another. Then it says debt financing is considered capital expenditure while equity financing is considered revenue expenditure. ये statement गलत है. Equity financing is also a contribution to capital. It is not considered as revenue expenditure. यही एक गलत बात हो गई. Because of this, the second statement goes wrong. अगर ये नहीं लिखा होता कि equity financing is revenue expenditure, तो statement सही होता. If it had not been written that equity financing is revenue expenditure, the statement would have been right. But because they write equity financing is revenue expenditure, ये statement गलत हो गया. तो फिर क्या सही आंसर है हमारा? A. Why? Because statement A1 is right, statement 2 is wrong. So that is the basic idea on question number 9 that you had to keep in mind. The next one then, question number 10. With reference to Indian economy, consider the following statements. ये question उन्होंने RBI के FAQs से put up किया था. अभी recently RBI ने अपना report present किया. Recently, the RBI presented its report. This question was picked up from that report that RBI had presented. So, you know what? The question they ask you is, with reference to Indian economy, consider the following statements. A share of the household financial savings goes towards government borrowings. Correct. Because of the retail direct scheme that RBI has now introduced, this has become even more obvious कि हाउसहोल्ड्स के जो सेविंग्स हैं उनका एक पार्ट अब आरबीआई के थ्रू गवर्नमेंट के सिक्योरिटीज खरीदने में जाएगा. सो सिंस हाउसहोल्ड्स आर नाउ अलाउड टू बाय गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, सो वन बिकम्स वन ऑफ द आंसर्स. द सेकंड इज dated securities issued at market related rates in auctions form a large component of internal debt. They do. 71% actually is according to the RBI FAQ report. जो RBI का FAQ report है वो ये बताता है कि सरकार की जो dated securities हैं, long term securities हैं, which are going for more than 1 year and all, they represent this, the retail, the largest form of the share. So both 1 and 2 are correct here. The answer will be 10C. Both 1 and 2 are correct here. The answer will be 10C. Then, the next part, this was another interesting thing about this year's paper, that they gave 10 questions on economy and then they jumped, and then again after 50 questions there were again few questions from economy. Normally वो questions एक साथ देते हैं, इस बार उन्होंने थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे करके दिया. Now see the next one, consider the following statement. Now, again this statement, this question, which was based on the external commercial borrowings and all, has its own controversy. Please keep that in mind, because they asked the question but they have not been very clear in their language. ये अपने language में बहुत clear नहीं है. फिर भी मैं आपको एक अपने हिसाब से दोनों ही point of view समझा दूंगा कि क्या आंसर हो सकता था. So the question that they ask us is, tight monetary policy of US Federal Reserve could lead to capital flight. अब बेहतर होता अगर यहाँ लिखा होता from other economies or from India, तो ये आंसर ज्यादा बेहतर लग रहा होता. If it was written that it is from other economies or from India, क्योंकि यूएस के फेडरल रिजर्व के मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी टाइटनिंग से वहां इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ेगा और उससे हमारे यहां से पैसे निकलेंगे, उनके यहां से नहीं. So then if the question would have been better if that was clear, but with my experience in this field, मेरा यही सजेशन है कि यही इंटरप्रिटेशन होना चाहिए, that will lead to capital flight from other economies, considering this statement as correct. Capital flight may increase the interest cost of firms with existing external commercial borrowings. ये इसको गलत कर देता है. It cannot increase it for the existing external commercial borrowings. The reason is very simple. It cannot increase it for existing external commercial borrowings because the rate of returns are fixed. Plus the capital flight will mean that there will be liquidity surplus abroad. तो अगर बाहर liquidity बढ़ रहा है, क्योंकि हमारे देश से जा रहा है बाहर, तो उस केस में बाहर liquidity बढ़ेगी और उस केस में वहां interest rate कम होने चाहिए, बढ़ने नहीं, अगर floating interest rate भी सोचें. But you don't have to think that much. आप बस existing पे concentrate करो and this statement goes wrong. Then devaluation of domestic currency decreases the currency risk associated with ECBs. This statement is correct, क्योंकि जब आप domestic currency devalue करते हो, when you devalue, the devaluation mind you is a fixed exchange rate phenomena. नहीं तो depreciation लिखा होता, floating exchange. यहाँ market नहीं कर रहा है currency को depreciate, government कर रही है, RBI कर रही है, आपके देश की सेंट्रल बैंक कर रही है. So if the central bank of the country decides to devalue the currency, it means कि जो आपके करेंसी के ऊपर रिस्क आता है because of the expected devaluation, वो खत्म कर दिया आपके RBI ने by actually devaluing it. So the currency risk that you run because of the expected devaluation of the currency, the central bank of your country has removed that currency risk because by actually devaluing it, and that means that the third statement becomes correct. So your answer should be C, 1 and 3 only. Your answer should be C, 1 and 3 only. The next question that they asked us, question number 63, they said consider the following statements, and again these were questions where they were actually testing you in whether you have understood all the terms better or not. So they say consider the following statement. In India, credit rating agencies are regulated by Reserve Bank of India. यही गलत स्टेटमेंट है, सेबी है करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. यहाँ the credit rating agencies are regulated by SEBI. अगर तुम ये पहला स्टेटमेंट सही समझ गए कि ये स्टेटमेंट गलत है, the statement is not a correct statement, then it will imply very easily that you will be able to mark the correct answer B, क्योंकि बाकी तीनों में ये 1 था. तो ऐसे एलिमिनेशन से भी हम बच सकते हैं. If you know the first question first statement well कि ये नहीं SEBI आंसर है, 1 is wrong, other 3 options had 1 in it, that implies 2 and 3 has to be the answer. So your answer will be 2 and 3 because the rating agency ICRA has gone public last year 2019 में public गए, and the Brickwork Ratings is an Indian company in Bengaluru. So that is why it is the statements 2 and 3 are correct. Statement 1 is incorrect in this. The next one that they ask us, is with reference to the Bank Board Bureau. अब ये सारे क्वेश्चंस जो जैसे रूपी डॉलर एक्सचेंज रेट पे हैं, बैंक बोर्ड ब्यूरो पे है, कुछ क्वेश्चंस आप जो लोग नेक्स्ट आईएएस में पढ़े हो, आप देखे होंगे कि आपने इनको क्लास में भी किया था. सो इफ यू सी बैंक बोर्ड ब्यूरो, अगेन दिस वाज अ क्वेश्चन which easily can be solved if you just answer the first one, that the governor of RBI is not the chairman of Bank Board Bureau. यही स्टेटमेंट गलत है. अगेन the first statement is wrong. Governor of RBI is not the chairman of Bank Board Bureau, and that means and that is the basic idea that you have to keep in mind. अगर कुछ ना याद हो, अगर कभी ये भी याद हो जाए कि जो विनोद राय थे वो बैंक बोर्ड ब्यूरो के चेयरमैन थे पहले, उससे भी आपका काम चल जाएगा. राइट नाउ इट इज भूषण प्रताप जी. नाउ दैट मींस गवर्नर ऑफ आरबीआई इज द चेयरमैन ऑफ बीबीबी इज इनकरेक्ट. अगेन देखो ए, सी और डी में 1 दे रखा है करेक्ट में, ऑब्वियसली वो आंसर नहीं होगा. योर आंसर विल बी 2 and 3 बिकॉज बीबीबी डज रिकमेंड फॉर द सिलेक्शन ऑफ हेड्स. रिकमेंड है, चूज नहीं करते, रिकमेंड करते हैं. एंड देन बीबीबी हेल्प्स द पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स इन डेवलपिंग स्ट्रेटजीज एंड कैपिटल रेजिंग प्लान्स. ये बीबीबी के रोल में बढ़ोतरी की गई थी 2018 से. So Bank Board Bureau was given an additional responsibility to direct the banks on capital raising plans and public going strategies, and that is your option 2 and 3. So B is the correct option with respect to the Bank Board Bureau. The next question that they ask you, in India which one of the following compiles, अब ये factual question था और ये question इसलिए था क्योंकि labor market continuously news में रहा है. That is why this question was being asked. So the question was, in India, which one of the following compiles information on industrial disputes, closures, retrenchments and layoffs? अब देखो important क्या है? In factories employing workers. तो इसके अंदर लेबर ब्यूरो आंसर है. Labor Bureau is the body which concedes all these information. So this is what you have to stick to. Labor Bureau is your answer. Labor Bureau is the body which conducts all these informations. All right. So ये factual था. ये या तो आप जानते होते हो या नहीं जानते होते हो. Normally मेरा suggestion होता है, अब तो खैर आपका एग्जाम हो गया, लेकिन हमेशा के लिए याद रखा करो that if these factuals either you know, mark it correct, get ahead. नहीं जानते हो, टाइम खराब मत करो, आगे बढ़ो. सोचने से नहीं स्ट्राइक करती ये बातें. ये या तो हमें पता होती हैं या नहीं पता होती. And then there was another question in India. What is the role of Coal Controllers Organization? Again, this was asked because coal was in news and continuously it was being said that the Ministry of Coal is responsible for timely delivery of coal. Coal India Limited is responsible for timely delivery of coal. तो बस वही एक wrong statement था. It ensures that coal mining companies deliver the coal. ये गलत है. ये Coal Controllers Organization का काम नहीं है. It is a source of coal statistics to the government of India. That is a correct statement that you can put across. It monitors progress of development of captive coal lignite blocks. Captive coal का मतलब वो companies जो अपने यूज के लिए कोल माइंस को माइन कर रहे हैं. Companies in steel, companies in power generation which use coal for their own purposes. So it monitors progress of development of captive coal lignite blocks and it hears any objection to the government's notification relating to acquisition of coal bearing areas. ये 2012 के सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑर्डर का नतीजा था कि ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाकर ये राइट दिया गया उनको that any objection to government's notification on acquisition of coal bearing areas will also be under the purview of CCO. So your answer will be 1, 2 and 3. That is A option as correct. So these are the questions that I had to discuss with you on economics. I hope you have had a great exam. Relax well, do well in things, and by chance, even if you are not very confident about the mains, please start preparing for mains within next 7 days. 7 दिन का रेस्ट लो और मेंस की तैयारी में लग जाओ. जो भी सपोर्ट आपको नेक्स्ट IAS से चाहिए, आप जरूर हमें अप्रोच करो. We are willing to help you out. All the best. See you soon. Thank you.